This one's for the guys. Do you guys like not shoot your shot with women in person anymore? Because I did go on this date with this guy that I met with on Circa, and he was great. He was, good looking, had a good job. Like, we had really good conversation. But he literally told me that he wouldn't have the confidence to go up to me if we were at a bar, which I don't really understand because he is a good looking guy. Like, I don't understand why he wouldn't have the confidence to do so. So is this like a universal thing? Do men just not approach women as much anymore?
Here's another example of men exposing how they really feel about women. This comment is actually cut off, but if you go to it, he has some really kind choice words for me and for all women. He is insisting that men are single not because of red pill, but they're choosing peace over dating and blaming women for ruining the dating scene. And I'm not saying that it's all men, but there are enough comments like these that are actually what's ruining the dating scene. People need to get off of their phones and go outside, because the real dating world is not like this. This is just another person either rage baiting or falling for polarizing commentary online that is simply created for virality. And because of this, a lot of men are single, and to say they're choosing peace, it's not a choice. Most people who behave like this, who speak like this, they are not single by choice. They are single because they are not chosen, and that applies to both men and women.
Ladies, do you ever notice that men don't approach you when you're all dialed up? Your hair's done, your makeup's done, you're looking real sorts of cute. There's a reason behind that. Being authentic is attractive. Men are drawn to how women look naturally over having their hair done and their makeup done. It feels more genuine and you look more approachable. Your confidence shines through because it feels like you are confident in who you are. Your presence feels magnetic. You look less intimidating. You look more approachable. Sometimes when your hair is all done up, your makeup's perfect, not a piece of hair is out of place, men feel intimidated. Being casual makes it easier to start a conversation. Being relaxed in your natural state is an attractive thing. Men may feel like they're meeting the real you, everyday authentic you. There is also a subconscious attraction. People are wired to notice your eyes, your tone of voice, the way that you hold your body over the way that you've styled your hair. And a lot of it is about timing and not the way that you did your hair. Men approach when it feels right, when the timing is right. Not if you have your fake eyelashes on, your extensions, your nails are all done, you look perfect. And don't take this video the wrong way. There's literally nothing wrong with getting done up, nothing wrong with leggings and an oversized sweatshirt with your hair in a baseball cap. There's nothing wrong with it, so don't take it like that. I want to know, do men prefer natural beauty or is it just confidence?
Hey, I think you're really cute, and I was just wondering if I could get your number and maybe take you on a date sometime.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. You just asked her out. What a creep. I'm recording this on TikTok. 10,000 people are watching.
Yeah, he literally just asked for my number. So gross. I'm gonna call the cops on you.
Hey, what's going on over here?
He just asked for my number.
So am I gonna go to jail for asking for a girl's number?
No, of course not.
Thank you. I feel like I'm going insane over here.
Jail's way too good of a place for you.
Men didn't stop approaching women because they got weak. They stopped because women got rude. Today, if a man says hello, he risks getting an eye roll, a disgusted face, or a dramatic reaction like he did something wrong. And some women act offended just because the man who approach isn't their type. And instead of saying no thank you, they react like he insulted them. And men are tired of being shamed for being respectful. Most guys are not scared of rejection, they are scared of humiliation. They don't want to be laughed at, recorded, or embarrassed on purpose. So good men don't approach anymore not because they don't want to, but because they don't want to be treated like trash for being polite.
Guys, I just went out with my brother and our two guy friends, and I was the only girl. And honestly, for the first time ever, I kind of witnessed the negative energy and the nastiness of certain girls, which is weird because I'm not like that. If a guy approaches you, first of all, we need to respect the fact and understand how hard it is to approach women, how much it takes to actually approach someone. It takes a lot of balls. And whenever a guy has approached me, even if I'm not interested, I always show up with kindness because first of all, that took balls, and second of all, it all depends on how you approach me, right? And your attitude and your energy. And I just feel I really saw a lot of girls really just be nasty straight up. I had some girl who was actually pretty, but her personality was whack because she was over here I don't have a name. We don't have a name. Ew, that's so that just gave me the ick. That's nasty personality. You can be pretty, but if your personality is like that, automatic no. That was so weird. I literally witnessed that and I was like, ain't no way you're being like, I don't have a name. I don't have a name. Like, be nice. Be nice. Okay, sometimes guys just want to compliment you and tell you that you look good and walk away. Like, it's never that deep. It's never that creepy. Like let a guy talk to you for a minute and hear them out. Like, I've always just been respectful, being like, I'm not interested, but really appreciate it. And that's it. Like, don't ever be that girl. If you see this, you were something else. Also, this was at Yucca Bar, so if you see this, yeah, that was not cute of you. Bye.
I'm seeing a lot of content out there from women telling guys to just step up, get out of their comfort zone, talk to women, get used to rejection, kind of like man up and do it. I don't disagree with that. It's right, but it's also kind of wrong. I'm speaking from personal experience here as someone who has self-rejected thousands of times. And yet a lot of it comes from a lack of self-worth and things like that that really need to be worked through. The stakes are made way too high. The weight that we as men, or a lot of us anyways, place on the validation from women is in itself also way too high. Puts us in this difficult spot where the response we get really does feel like it dictates how we feel about ourselves. It's proof of how much worth that we have. It's proof of how attractive we are. And that's not an excuse, that's just an explanation. That's something that every individual needs to go on their own journey about and work on themselves. But that's where compassion is needed, because what's missed in this commentary from women about like men should just do it is that it's a lived experience that women simply don't have. Now, ladies, you have plenty of your own issues, so this isn't meant for comparison at all. But there's no expectation for women to constantly put themselves out there and face rejection. Yeah, some women do go out of their way to talk to guys they're interested in, but it's kind of like a cherry on top of the cake versus the only real strategy that you have. Plus, the women who do that are also balancing that against all the guys who are coming up and talking to them. The success rate is generally higher because for men, we never get approached. So when we do, it is just so flattering. It's easy to say like, oh, it's really not that big a deal when it's not something you really have to deal with. I do agree with you. Intellectually, it's really not that big a deal, but somatically it is. Getting rejected 9 times out of 10 when there's really no other source of validation, no one's really coming up to you, puts your nervous system through a battering. Also remember, we're getting conflicting advice. Some people like just go up and tell someone if you think they're cute or not, while other people are saying if you go and do that, it's a no-no. Because apparently going up and telling someone like, hey, my name is so-and-so, I just thought you were cute, isn't the move. It's not showing enough interest, even though that's really all you have to go off a lot of times. So in summation, agreed. We should be approaching more. Men and women, just going up and approaching more and talking to people more if we think there's a genuine interest there or we're genuinely interested in them. We shouldn't take it too seriously. Life is too short to take these kinds of things seriously. At the same time, it can be really difficult. We all have insecurities and things like that we need to work through. Somatically, nervous system-wise, it's really hard. All of this is to say, let's have a bit more grace and compassion for each other. Let's all be more open to connection. Let's be brave. Let's be kind.
And I really like his response here, because a lot of times modern women will say that men aren't vulnerable. They don't know how to communicate effectively. They don't know how to think deep within themselves. Right? They think on a surface level. And they also say that men don't know how to dress. Men don't know how to put themselves together, so on and so forth. And I use this as an example to say this brother knows how to talk, seems like he knows how to dress, this doesn't look slouchy, right? And then he's going through the different stages and areas of how he feels approaching women, how he feels being rejected. I'm looking at his channel right now. Suits, nice place, looks like. Casual, business casual, nice watch, all that stuff. So, you know, it's not like this guy is a bum, but modern women will have you to believe that men don't know how to act. They don't know how to dress. They don't know how to put themselves out there. They are not very deep. Their feelings are superficial, yada, yada, yada. But that's not it at all. Men are out there. It's just that modern women are telling them, I don't want you. I want another man, a man that is as deep as you are, but 6 feet.
About about this topic and about me being the ugly friend in my friend group, that it doesn't matter. It sucks. It's demoralizing. It beats you down. There's something about going out with your friends, going out, weekend after weekend, whatever, and whether that and going out. Pause, doesn't mean the clubs, like just even out to dinner, and you don't get approached and your friends are getting approached. It is like literally like it's like a sign from the universe that you are ugly.
No,
and you start to feel ugly. During that time, I would legitimately complain to my friends and tell them, like, you guys are just so much better looking than me. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, nobody wants to approach me. None of the guys are trying to talk to me. They just try to talk to all of my friends. And I would explain this to them, and they'll just be like, Miss Story, what are you talking about? Like, and they just don't get it. They just don't get it that, like, they are so pretty that my beauty just doesn't shine next to them.
So I want to start off by saying that she is not ugly at all. She is not ugly at all. Let's just put that out there. And then I want to give y'all a quick story time, right? So growing up, I had a huge gap in my teeth, right? I was a little awkward. I dressed very eclectic, and my friend group was predominantly lighter skinned girls with lighter eyes. Lighter eyes, brown hair. Like it was giving all of that. And they would always get approached. Majority of the time when we were outside, they would always get approached. It never made me feel like, oh, I don't want to hang out with them, or jealousy. It didn't make me feel that way. It made me feel like, okay, I need to find what it is about me that I could, make bigger, that I could become more confident, that I could have, that's my own, right? And when we would go out, like, I would just always dress very eclectic. Like, that is where I started to gain my confidence from. It was my personal style. It was my creativity. I was always able to sing. And then around those times, I had boyfriends, and guys would approach me. I would just have to be, probably by myself, or in school. We went to the same school. I went to the same school with a couple of them too, but guys would approach me in school. Y'all get what I'm saying? So I didn't feel like, oh my God, I'm just so ugly. Like, I never really felt that way about myself. I just thought that it was my teeth, to be quite honest. And then a couple of them did make comments about like me being dark skinned, which we'll talk about that at another time. But I did start to glow up. I actually look much better than I did when I was a teenager, than I did when I was in my 20s. I'm in my 30s now, and I'm absolutely stunning. So some people peak in high school. Some people peak at college age, and some people get better with time, like fine wine. And I just so happen to be one of those people. And I remember being with two of my lighter skinned friends. One of them had the colored eyes, and this is when I noticed, like, okay, this is a little different. I was walking, and I told him, I said, this guy, well, first of all, we were in an establishment, and a guy was trying to talk to me, and that was very rare. And they was just like looking around, because I don't think they were used to it either. And he was trying to talk to me, and I was just like, oh, no, thank you, whatever. And then I told him what happened when I was on my way to meet them, how somebody said, oh, why you acting like that? You acting light skinned. And they looked at each other like, and I was like, oh, they're my friends. I love them, but they can't relate because they are the light-skinned girl that the guy said I was acting like, and they just can't relate. And I think that because I started to develop and come into my own and gain a new sense of confidence, it could make other people that's used to always having attention feel a little bit insecure. Now, another one of my friends, another beautiful, gorgeous one, we were out, and a guy approached me once again. He decided to take us out to dinner, and it was a guy that was interested in me. She was pissy the whole entire night. She left me at the restaurant and started saying she was sick and she didn't feel good because all of the attention wasn't on her, and she was not used to that. And these are all people that I've known since we were 14, 15 years old. And I was like, wow, I had been around these girls for years, always playing the third wheel, standing on the side, being around while they talking to guys. And I would never act funky or be like, I'm ready to go, I'm sick, because the attention is not on me. It's just very, very funny to see the tides turn. Now, I know this is a little long, but I got to get this out. So I want to say with this girl, she's African. You know how the Africans, they praise the white tea. And that is important because she lives in Seattle. And in Seattle, it's predominantly white tea people. You might find a small Asian community out there, some Latinos. And her friends are probably racially ambiguous, multiracial, white, and Latino, And she also takes me as a type that probably wants to date a white tea man. So my suggestion to her would be to, one, you have to build your confidence from within. You got to stop comparing yourself to other groups of women, and you need to go out by yourself more. Gain the confidence to go out into the world by yourself more. Because if you are getting, whatever type of validation externally you need from the male species when you're out by yourself, it won't feel as crazy or as magnified when you're with your friends, because that's not the only time you're out meeting guys. And also, I think that she probably needs a different environment. She needs to go somewhere where she does see more interracial dating, where she does see more women that look more aesthetically like her being properly courted. That's my TED Talk for today. But there's nothing ugly about her. She's a gorgeous girl. She doesn't have the stereotypical standard of beauty. Nobody even gives a fuck about that. As long as your personality is popping. And that too, I worked on my personality. Like, I think I am absolutely hilarious. You know what I mean? I'm hilarious. I could sing. I could write. I used to be able to dance, but I don't know. I could do a little two-step, okay? But I have this crazy dazzling personality because when I was younger, like I said, like I was never ugly, but I never felt like I could just lean fully on my looks. So it made me strengthen other parts of my character and other parts of my personality. And now I'm literally like a quadruple threat out this. And then my body is smoking. I grew into like a BBL. This is not me. They not. Like, now I'll be like, damn, like, anyways, what y'all think? Spread love is the Brooklyn way. This is long as hell, damn.
And here you see in the comments, a woman said it never gave ugly. It gave standards, those forms of rejection that she can't see yet, basically. Basically, men are coming up to you, coming up to your friends because, once again, this just silly. It's just silly to continue to dump on your friends. Well, your friends don't have standards. You do. What? Well, anything but taking responsibility for how you show up. She goes on to say those dudes probably don't think that they can actually pull somebody like her. She's stunning. Yeah, okay. But that doesn't mean that your friends don't have standards. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean that dudes are intimidated. Maybe it just means you need to be a little bit more open. I mean, God dog, you can start by smiling. Are they smiling? You can start by having an open energy. What does your body language look like? Are you smiling? Are you happy? Are you moving around? Are you sitting there like a bump on a log? We need to start asking ourselves these honest questions. Self-reflection. Self-reflection is what y'all need to start doing. Instead of listening to some woman on the internet talking about, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. She's not getting the hits that she wants. So clearly there's something that needs to change. Bare minimum, she needs to take a second look and be like, why are no men approaching me? What can I change?
It's sad because I love black women, but for some reason I just can't stand this one. She was just complaining about men not approaching women. She never gets approached. And then her wish comes true and she don't know how to act.
How old are you?
35,000 years old. You know,
she is allergic to having normal conversations. This man asked her for her age and she says she's 35,000 years old and then starts talking about Sumerian texts. Why is she talking about some clay tablets and he's just asking for her age? You wonder why nobody wants to come up to you. I'm sorry, but I can't let somebody who looks like their belly button stinks talk to me like this, because I would play along into that same game. I'd be like, damn, you don't look a day over 34,000 years old. I would have kept that conversation going. You want to talk stupid? I'ma act stupid. Why would anybody even want to approach her? That just seems like mentally waiting to happen. This is the same reason that Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, because he can't slap the women in his family, so he had to take out that frustration on somebody else. I know Will Smith came home one day and was just like, how was your day, Willow? And you know she probably said the word day was created by the white man. I say noon or something stupid. She can't even keep a rejection normal. She has to even turn that into some weirdo stuff.
A lot of the videos I've been posting about how men are not approaching women keep surfacing common themes. Fear of rejection, fear of being called creepy, anger towards women that women have been telling men to not approach them, so now men are confused on this app. And another thing that I'm seeing very persistent across these comments is very, very low confidence and low self-esteem. Now, some of the things I just pointed out, I think women have played a role in. Like, men are afraid to make the move because a lot of women don't know how to handle letting down a guy, so they make the guy feel bad, and then when the guy feels bad, they're like, well, I don't want to put myself out there. So I do believe we need to hold women accountable and teach them how to be respectful with letting down a guy and like not be passive aggressive and rude and make the guy feel uncomfortable. So like we should hold women accountable, yes, and we should also recognize that like the issue around low self-esteem and low self-confidence is completely separate from like even the whole discourse around should men approach women or not. Like the fact that so many people, men included, but like people generally struggle with their self-esteem and self-confidence is so upsetting, because if we don't have a strong sense of self, we're not going to be healthy. We're not going to have a healthy mind. We're not going to treat our bodies in a healthy way. And we're not going to have a healthy spirit if you take it a step further. So what I think we really need to start addressing is how do we create a society with people who are more confident, have higher self-esteem, and have a stronger sense of self so that they don't let other people's perceptions of them and things that they can't control negatively influence themselves and their self-perception. Because when we start to believe these really negative stories and narratives in our head, we start to behave in ways that are not actually setting ourselves up for greater success in life. So there's a lot of problems that I'm talking about here. The discourse on like, should men approach women or not, I think is a little separate, but still related to and contributes to the fundamental finding that I'm seeing here, which is like a A lot of people, men specifically, in the context of relationships, have very, very low self-confidence and self-esteem, which is why rejection is so crippling to them.
So as you can imagine, a lot of the dudes in the comments are pretty much saying the same thing. Y'all told us not to approach. One guy here says for the last 25 to 30 years, guys have been beaten down as the cause of all issues in the world, period. But this guy, I really like the comment, says, even being rejected respectively still hurts, and getting enough respectful no's will still eat your confidence away. I think this is a great time for women to approach more as well. And then somebody kind of tagged on to that and they said this: rejection is going to happen to everyone multiple times, no doubt. But it's like women think men shouldn't be affected by constant rejection. Women are thinking that this is a man's rite of passage. Just go out there and get rejected, keep on getting rejected over and over again. Just dust yourself off and try again, basically. Which to a degree, yes. But also, if somebody gets knocked down over and over again, like the guy was saying, their confidence is going to be shaken, period. They're going to need somebody around them to pick them back up. That's just how the world works. I think it seems like sometimes modern women don't even see men as human. Like, you shouldn't be affected by rejection. You're a robot. So that's not something that's going to hurt you. You don't need to be worried about your feelings of being rejected. Well, I rejected him respectfully. If you keep on getting no after no after no after no after no, think of how it would affect you as a woman. It's probably going to affect you. I mean, women go up to men and the first time they get rejected, I'm never doing that again. Right? Because rejection doesn't feel great. So think about that when you go to reject somebody. Right now, obviously, if you're not attracted to them, nobody's saying that you should tell them yes just to be nice. But what men are saying is being rejected, being called a creep, existing as a man is a lot harder than y'all give credit for.
You gotta be difficult, Danielle. I'm telling you, anything that's not aligning with what you want, you starve out that behavior. And you want that man to even potentially swing your way, you gotta show him through your behavior that you have better options.
Men want peace, not difficulty. Hello, it is I, Gentleman Black Spider Guy, but pay attention. Which demographic is most likely to not get married? I'll give you a hint. It starts with the letter B. Pay attention. You think that leaving one man is going to allow for you to go to another? If the behavior has not changed, pay attention. If the behavior has not changed, then you will repeat the same cycle of being alone. Pay the fuck attention. Teaching women who already statistically have a low chance of finding a husband to be more difficult is, pay the fuck attention, is setting them up for disaster.
I have a client, a former client, because I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about them now, but I had a former client whose husband was super successful. They had 3 kids together, 2 twins and 1 older son. He had a brownstone in Brooklyn, very, very expensive brownstone. She had a nanny to take care of the kids, even though she was a stay-at-home wife. She had me as her personal trainer, and each kid had a tutor for them for school, right?
Wow.
As we were working out, she told me she did not marry the love of her life. And I was like, wait, what? She was like, she loves her husband, but she's not in love with her husband. The person that she should have married was some guy, I think he did music or whatever. But she said, this is her exact words: I knew if I stayed with him, we would be having 4 kids and living in a trailer. So I went with him. That doesn't sound like love. She still wasn't happy. She still was fantasizing about someone else.
The quickest way to lose that man is by disrespecting him. Disrespect comes in many different forms. It can be you cutting him off. It can be you talking crazy to him by belittling him, making him feel less than a man. It can be you not allowing him to truly lead because you don't know how to shut the up, because you so independent. You claim you want to have a man that you can count and depend on, and when you get him, you self-sabotage. It can be that you feel like you don't have to listen to anything that he says, and what you say is all that matters. You're not truly listening to understand. You ain't taking care of him. You're not catering to him. You're not trying to find out what it is that he truly needs, what's going on with him. Those are some ways that you can lose your man. Of course, there are other ways that it can occur as well, but never disrespect your man. Don't throw up what your exes used to do and what whoever you done seen does for they girl. That's their relationship. It is not yours. Do not compare your man to no other man. Are you out your mind? Y'all got to do better. And then you wondering why nobody want to stick around with you.
If you're not dependent on your spouse, that's not a marriage. Because what would be the purpose of me not being dependent on him and him not being dependent on me? In order for him to be the performer that he needs to be, I have to be the woman that he needs to be. Like, he needs to come home and have a woman who's encouraging him and who is joyful and who's uplifting his spirit and has a nice warm meal ready for him when he gets home so he can actually eat. And then for me, of course, he's my provider and he's my safety and he's the man. Like, he's the rock of our relationship and he's my leader. Roles are so important. And when I say roles, I'm not saying I cook and clean and he goes to work. I'm saying that I'm the nurturer. I take care of him. I take care of the home. I'm the encourager, the joyful one, the spirit, the life in our relationship. And he is the defender, protector, provider. And that dynamic is what helps the marriage flourish.
Morgan Wallen, you have 10 minutes to respond to this message before I go and walk down the aisle. It's not too late. Let me know.
Let me know. Wait a minute, so let me get this straight. You are 10 minutes away from walking down the aisle, and what's on your mind at that point in time is a celebrity that doesn't even know you exist. Not the man that proposed to you, not your family and friends that showed up to support you, not the fact that you are about to commit to this man for the remainder of your lifespan. You are sending a message out to a celebrity that doesn't even know you exist. And the message you want to send to him is, if he's willing and ready to accept you, or if he wants you, you will call off the whole wedding right then and there. Some of y'all deserve to be lonely in the worst way. And the funny thing is, I looked in the comments, there's a couple people saying, oh, it's a joke. That's not a joke you play on your wedding day. And then you posted it for the world to see. I hope that man divorces you, because that's disrespectful. I don't care what anybody says. That's disrespectful. On my wedding day, I'm probably palms are sweaty, I'm nervous, and my wife is in a completely different room making a video to a celebrity that doesn't know she exists and saying to him, I'm willing to call off this wedding if you want me. I hope your husband sees the light and divorce your ass. I'll be honest with you, because the level of disrespect is just, it's outrageous, unattainable. It's just sickening, to say the least. But you know what? Fortunately for you, you ain't got to listen to what I'm saying, because I'm just a normal guy. Yeah, keep the change.
The person deciding to leave shouldn't get the kids. It should go to the other person. And that would typically mean that the children would then go to the men. Because I think a lot of women, if they were faced with the consequences, that they would stop leaving. A lot of these men, their woman left them to go find their happiness. And I'm like, what do you mean? How is your husband and your kids not your happiness? So they want to essentially go out to the streets is what they really want to do and get some strange. And then they break up the family. But then the man is essentially a slave to her. He's got to pay child support, sometimes alimony. He only gets them like every other weekend. And it's awful what the judicial system does.
I'm separated, still living in the same house with my soon-to-be ex, and I just watched him say something I've been waiting 16 years to hear, and then undo it the very next morning. There is a whole generation of men who are growing in age, but emotionally stuck at 22. They look grown. They find a wife, they raise kids, but emotionally, maybe they're still in that little bachelor apartment eating pizza rolls and thinking deep thought means changing the Netflix profile photo. They never built an identity outside of the vices they use to escape. To be clear, I'm not sitting around hoping he'll change for me. We are divorcing, period. My piece has already packed her bags and moved into her new place mentally. But when you share a life with someone for almost 20 years, And when you're raising kids together, you still want them to choose themselves, not for the relationship, not for the marriage, for their own growth. For these children who are watching everything, for the version of their life they're capable of, but refusing to walk toward. So the other night, we're talking and he finally named something he's avoided his whole adult life. He said to me he doesn't really have an identity. He says he doesn't know who he is. And for him, that was huge. He don't talk like that. He doesn't reveal himself like that. This is a man who has difficulty naming what he wants to eat for dinner. But in that moment, I'm thinking, okay, all right now, if he can see that, maybe he can start seeing the rest of it. Maybe he can start seeing how much he's been numbing. Maybe he can start seeing how the smoking, the drinking, the checking out have become his identity instead of something he does occasionally to unwind, you know? And again, I don't need him to notice these things for me. I'm going to say that again, not for the marriage, but for him. For his growth, for his life, for these kids who are watching him model adulthood like it's a group project he forgot he signed up for. So that was the hope. Not that he'd wake up a brand new person, just that he'd wake up a little more aware than he was the day before. And then the next day came, and baby, he slid right back into the same loop. And it wasn't out of defiance. It wasn't out of rebellion. He just genuinely does not see the connection between his habits and his unhappiness. Ultimately, it's arrested development. That's what arrested development means. It's emotional avoidance dressed up as I'm just chilling. But healing requires clarity. Clarity requires discomfort, and you cannot get clarity while staying sedated. You can be a healed man who smokes or drinks on occasion. I truly believe that, but you cannot heal while hiding from yourself. And that is what so many women are waking up to. The loneliness they feel at home is not random. It's the reality of living next to a man who never chose himself and who sadly might not know how. So
I guess the thing that I have a problem with is modern women always think that you're numbing or you're running away from something if you don't deal with it the way that they would deal with it. They always think, and even in divorce, you're hearing that she thinks that she's more superior than he is. Well, he ain't been able to handle this. He ain't been able to handle that. And even if he did change, it's over. It's done with, yada, yada, yada. But I'm glad for the kids, for the kids, because the kids need it. That sort of thing. I'm sure throughout the marriage, even though you seem sincere, this type of attitude has come up more than once.
Now, with no kids, I often find myself talking to women that got kids. Now, it's no problem, but here's the problem. I want to start my own family. But when you tell a woman with kids that you want to start your own family, they look at you like you just disobeyed an order. Like what you said, you need to take that back now or something. These women look at me when I tell them I want to start my own family, they acting like I'm going against everything they work for or something. Like I should stop my life since you laid on your back for the wrong. I'm supposed to say, nah, start my own legacy. I need to continue this my career. Get them out of here. It's not going down like that. Should there be stepfathers out there? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I feel like every kid should have a father and a mother in the household. But is it going to be me? No. And to the women that understand that, I love you. But then you got the BM warriors saying, well, if you want to start your own family, then leave women alone with kids. Who are you talking to? Since when did you determine who I talk to? You better stay out my business. If this BM want to get took through there, then I'm the man for it. But you just got to understand, I dated a woman with kids for 4 or 5 years. Didn't work out. I can't get those years back. So this go around, I'm starting my own family. That's perfectly fine. I'm not hurting nobody. I guess but your feelings. But how much is that worth? Oh, okay.
Oh, y'all, I am so sick of having to water myself down and suppress what I say because we are in a weak generation. We are in a generation that is facade. We are in a generation that can't take accountability. We are in a generation where if you say something to somebody, you give them constructive criticism and you tell them they're wrong, you're labeled as non-peaceful or problematic. I don't know if you know it or not, but you cannot grow if you can't take any accountability. And I wholeheartedly understand the 48 laws of power. I understand you don't want to outsmart the master, but half y'all aren't masters to be unsmarted, okay? You guys want to be be told lies. You want to be fed fairy tales. And I don't know if you know this or not, but if I can't tell you the truth, right, and I'm just feeding your delusion, you're not going to grow. You can't get anywhere. You can't elevate. If you are stuck in this, I know everything, there's no way to grow. None of us have this figured out. And there are no ceilings in life. You can always go further. You can go higher. You can do better. There are no limits. But if you can't be held accountable for the things that you do wrong, or nobody can tell you anything about yourself, you're not going nowhere. Listen, like, oh, Amanda, you're too straightforward. What, you want me to lie to you? Do I really care about you if I'm gonna lie to you? Don't associate yourself with me if I can't tell you the truth and be honest. This is a very odd generation, very weird, very soft, very emotional, very sensitive. I won't understand it. I don't get it. Y'all gotta do better.
People are sick and tired of women selling their bodies for money. I am the Bop's biggest nightmare. If you haven't seen my content before, I snowboard, I shoot guns, I gamble on Rainbet. It's a fun time. Last time I said this, my video blew up. 11% of women in the US from the ages of 18 to 25 are doing OF.
18 to 25 or something like that. 10 of them have only.
That is a huge number. It means that we are getting closer to society normalizing OF as a career. The more we normalize this, the worse our society is going to get. OF is not going to last forever. There's an expiry date on that. There is no expiry date on being called a hoe. I could be offered $10 million to start an OF and I still wouldn't do it.
You can't make a wife out of a hoe. And I bet you any money that fella doesn't know half of her past. That's only gonna cause him problems. Unlucky on him, like. Lust is destroying marriages. You've got women having a high body count and taking that baggage into the marriage. That's only gonna cause them problems, like. But how we can put a stop to lust is by getting everyone to download the Overcomer app. The more people we get in that app, the more lives are saved. Get inside the community and overcome lust today. Imagine making a woman your wife and finding out she had a past like that. That's fucking pain. Unlucky, lad. Stay woke in these streets. Big brr.
The internet is forever, man. And this is what men are talking about. Y'all can't even do this in privacy. Y'all just have to let the world know that y'all know how to shake your behinds. I don't understand it. Y'all get mad at a man for posting a picture of a fish, and y'all are confused when a man is weirded out or grossed out by you shaking your behind on the internet. But y'all want to talk about, oh, he out there fishing, I don't want to see it. If the gym is your life, then I don't want to see it. If partying is your lifestyle, going to Dubai is your lifestyle, if getting crapped on is your lifestyle, if being on a yacht all the time because a man paid for it is your lifestyle, if having to go to expensive restaurants because you're just so high and that's a lifestyle that you live and you're such a boss babe, if that's the life that you live, if that's your image and that's the way that you think and that's the people that you hang around, not for me.
Give life a chance before you enter the streets. Give life a chance before you begin to hawk your pum pum. Give life a chance. It's the fact that even the jobless wants a luxurious lifestyle, so they find an easy route to enter. Why do you want a luxurious lifestyle? Are you not jobless? Wait, are you not Are you not jobless? Are you not jobless? Lost Valley in a loud word. Flow of fluid up and down. Fluid. Are you not? Overflow of fluid here and there. Huh? Wow. I hope I'm not shouting, right? You know I'm not shouting, right? Anyways, I'm a very peaceful person. I really don't find trouble and all that. And I'm sorry if you find this video triggering. Thank you.
Natalie, you're gonna keep. I don't speak Spanish. Can you speak English? So I can understand. Oh my God, I can. What did this girl say? You got a 27-year-old woman. She doesn't claim any of the guys she's been with. The longest consecutive period of time she's ever been with a guy in her 27 years of life is 5 months. I can kind of start to see why that's the case. If this is how you're acting in front of cameras in 4K, I can't imagine how you would act with your boyfriend. It's completely ridiculous. Continue the stonewall. By the way, stonewalling is like a really terrible tactic to do. Completely disrespectful. You guys and the girls here might be like, wow, Brian's being really harsh. Agreeing to come on a podcast where you're going to discuss things and she's going to throw a temper tantrum. Completely childish to completely shut down like this. It's obviously frustrating, but whatever. Oh my God.
A lot of y'all can quote, love is patient, love is kind, and you have no idea what that means. Your love is not kind. Your love is not patient. Y'all sitting here mocking men because they're 20-something years old or maybe in their early 30s or something like that, and they ain't made 6 figures yet. You ain't made 6 figures. You're not even close to making 6 figures. You ain't even close to the lifestyle that you want them to provide for you. What you talking about? Oh, love is patient, love is kind, so long as it applies to you. What about love is patient, love is kind? It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. What about that scripture? Oh, okay, y'all missed the part when Paul was talking about it's not self-seeking, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm annoyed because y'all have gendered empathy. And God wants us to reflect his character. Y'all are doing exactly what the enemy wanted you to do. You are ridiculing men. The enemy wanted to take out the head of household, and you all are ridiculing men, breaking their character, breaking their emotions, breaking their spirit, breaking them down mentally, breaking them down to the point to where they feel like they have no help and they cannot get up, to the point to where they feel like they are undeserving, where they don't measure up, where they're not good enough, where they are failures. Y'all have done exactly what the enemy wanted you to do, and that's to tear down the head of the household. You ought to be
I'm not giving wifey shit to men who don't deserve it.
Can you explain Pancake Gate?
Wait. Let me understand this. So you want a husband, but you don't want to be a wife. You want a husband, but you don't want to be a wife. After you've already given up the cat. I'm really trying to understand this one here.
To me.
Oh, can I explain this to you though before I do that?
And this is why men don't even entertain it. They don't even give it a second thought. Because modern women continue to say stupid stuff like this. And they're expecting a man to be like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great for me to be disrespected. I love that. The idea, the next 30, 40 years, me being disrespected and what I'm saying, not even listened to. And I got to pay for everything. That's me living a dream, man.
Let me ask you guys something. How is it a man can be with a woman for years? For years. They live together, raise kids together, share holidays, birthdays, and not once, I mean not once, does the police get called. But the second the man says, I can't do this anymore, or divorce gets brought up, suddenly he's dangerous? Suddenly the same man who tucked those kids in every night is a danger to his own family. Make that make sense. If he was truly that person, why didn't anyone say anything when things were good? Why is it the minute custody is on the line, the stories start changing? And here's the truth that nobody wants to talk about. False allegations. They destroy lives. They destroy fathers. They destroy families. And the punishment for making one of those should be the same as the crime that they're accusing someone of doing. Because when you weaponize the system, you're not just hurting a dad. You're hurting the kids who lose the only steady parent that they have. Fathers aren't perfect, but most of us are just trying to love our kids and survive the system that's already stacked against us. So to every man fighting the lies right now, stand tall. The truth doesn't need to scream to be heard. It just needs time. If you've lived this, drop your story in the comments. I read every single one of them. And share this with another dad who needs to hear it so you know it's not alone. And follow me, because we're building something great, and I want you to be a part of that. You don't have to do this alone. I got you.
How old are you?
24.
I'm 18. And how long you been together?
1 month.
So how does an 18-year-old man get with a 24-year-old girl like you?
For me, it's not important. You have money, so that's fine.
I'm rich, man, no problem. Your relationship is purely transactional.
No, it's not for that. I love him, not for money, because I have money, I have model, and it's not for that, you know.
How did you guys meet?
Okay, it's so funny. It's in Dubai. I go with a pool party, and I'm in taxi with a friend, and the friend say, "Oh my God, my friend's car it's broke just here," and me see, "Oh my God, who is him?" And see pictures, car broke, and after me text him, and after see him.
So being that you're 18 and you're 24, you don't fear that she might be a little more than you can handle right now?
No problem. The love haven't any age.
We already know why she's out there, dude. I mean, we can sit up here and try to talk about, oh, I love him and this and that. Stop that. Don't do that. Quit that. We know why you're up there.
Y'all are over here picking spouses like it's candy, and just remember, your husband, your wife could possibly be your caretaker for months, even years. They could be making all your medical decisions. Like, this is the person you possibly could be having kids with if you're choosing to have kids, which is incredibly stressful at times. Don't just focus on the fact that you want a wedding. There is a lot of that is going to happen in your lifetime. Life is going to throw you outside of what bouquet you want to walk down the aisle with, how snatched you want to look in your wedding dress, and how skinny you're trying to get before you walk down the aisle.
Now, I could be wrong because I'm wrong all the time. However, mothers, dressing like a hoochie mama coming to the soccer game or the baseball game is not going to give man any more playing time. Now, I could be wrong. Coaches, let me know if I'm wrong. I'm wrong all the time. However, I see more TTs than I see T-balls. I see more booty out in the back than I see soccer balls on the field, okay? And do what you do. Be proud of your body. That's your prerogative. Do what you want. But these kids are 6, 7, 8, and even some of the teens. And you're out here looking like you're about to go audition for Magic City. I don't understand the correlation. Maybe you want a coach or a dad. That's absolutely fine. But go meet them up at Home Depot. Okay, let the kids have their moment. Okay, put some clothes on when you go to the game. Okay?
Good morning. Do y'all know how lucky y'all is for real? And shout out to y'all who pay child support and then still do for the child outside the child support. The ones that get the deduction out their check, the $1,500, the $750, the $350, whatever amount. And then when you get your kid on a weekend, you're spending another band on them, $1,500 on them. Shout out to y'all, because I know for a fact, if the roles were reversed, Lord Jesus help me, and women had to pay child support and then it was their weekend, they would have a fit. They would say, what the f*** I gotta pay for the child? The money from the child support should take it. Oh my God. Am I lying, y'all? Am I lying? Do you know what type of rebuttal these would have? So this is why I'm here. Do you see how lucky you is?